Nice.
I'm just sitting in my kitchen dining area.
Cool. So you get that, David? Nice.
Have you guys actually played any Gravatar?
Yeah, we did.
Like in MAME, or you gotta? Did you find one, or yeah? Oh, wow,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
cool.
That's how I started. I found it. I was playing on my laptop, just a bunch of different. Once I found out MAME, I was like, oh man, Pac-Man. And then I was like, oh, asteroids. And then all the games that you played in the '80s, and some of them are much more difficult with the keyboard, like Tempest, or
Hmm.
it's crazy impossible. But yeah, yeah, oh, beautiful game, incredible, one of the most beautiful games ever. But yeah, I found Gravatar and I sucked, and I was like, this is cool.
We
How the
did
hell
too.
do you do this? And yeah, I just became obsessed. Really, that's what happened. I just started playing it and playing it, and then I talk about it on the website, like, how do you do this? And then I contacted Ray Mueller, who was the world champion. I found him, and he basically said it's stamina. You gotta you gotta have the stamina, and this is why I have that page on the website to Ray. I did not want to just like beat his record by a couple points and then stop. I wanted to crush it so he wouldn't feel bad. Like, well, clearly almost double. I mean, that guy wanted it. That's basically what I was saying to Ray. But I love him, and I think the difference between what I did and what he did it out there, in the wild, at a Chuck E. Cheese with kids and noise and music and
And you were so
temperature,
focused.
and I'm in a fucking lab. I'm in a laboratory with black velvet behind me to keep any reflection, and my
Damn.
wife bringing me food, and I got my own music. And so I was in a very laboratory setting. I don't know if I could have done what Ray did. So to me, he's the man. He's the guy that 24 years he did it. Now I played '06, December of '06. So we're 10, 15 years on. Okay, we'll see in 6 more years if this thing six? No. Oh, nine. Whatever. 9 years. Well, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, I will honor Ray always because to me he's the guy that did it. He figured it out. Yeah, I don't know. I
I
really
don't think
don't
so,
know.
no.
His was 24. It was December of '82. So it was 24 years. I don't know. It's a crazy. I mean, it's the guy Mike Halley. He invented it. He did Star Wars,
Hmm.
but it was his first game for Atari, and him and Rich Adam, the guy that did the coding, they came up with
And
this.
you
And
spoke with them as well, right?
I've spoken to Mike a couple of times, just at the beginning, and then just over the years, I would call him on occasion. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but we're friends on Facebook. And he sent me his binder. I scanned the whole thing and put it up there.
Yeah, we also had a look at that.
Good. I hope any of it helps. I don't know. I don't think there was any. That's why I did the site. Nobody had any Gravatar information really. I was like,
Oh,
I'm gonna make the best
yeah.
Gravatar. I got the best Gravatar site.
We noticed that as
Woo!
well because your
And
side
it
was
was just I
basically the
was
only thing.
obsessed. I was just obsessed. Now I have not played a lot of Gravatar. Here and there. I go to a friend's who has one at his. I play more at his place once or twice a year, and I don't even think I can get through it now. The whole thing. I'm so unprac. Now maybe if I applied myself and practiced for a couple of days, I might get to the point where I could get through it again. But it's a very hey,
It's a
it's a
difficult game.
challenge. It's a difficult game
Yeah.
to get through. Yeah, it really is. Mike created a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's a very slow. it's not like an action shooter game because I suck at asteroids. You would think I'd be amazing at. I'm terrible at asteroids. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah, it really is. Yeah, it's well thought out, and I mean there are places you can kind of to shoot the what do I call them, bunkers, I guess, the turrets or bunkers. I mean there's places you can, you know, that the bullets are not, or whatever they shoot, the shots are not going to hit you because they can't reach. So that's why once you learn those techniques, that's a lot of, you know, rinse and repeat. Um, and once you learn what, you know, once you learn the game and have the stamina, that was the thing, is like I've made it through 18 and a half times is what I did. And that's,
Damn.
I was like, that's enough. I did it. I don't, nobody's, who's going to do this? Who's Ray might, possible. God bless you, Ray. I doubt it, but
And
you know, like,
was Ray kind of your motivation to keep going for
yeah,
those
because what,
moments?
you know, what was weird is because I kept saying, I don't know how 12 hours and
Yeah,
change,
because
whatever it
it
was.
seems insane.
How do you do this? And especially like at a Chuck E. Cheese in 1982, how the hell did you do that?
Right.
And uh, I still don't know how he really did. I think I just think it's amazing or insane that he did it.
Hmm.
But, yeah, but how do you do this? And then I tried and tried and tried. I think I had 3 attempts, and the machine reset, and it was very I thought it overheated or something.
Oh no.
And I talked to my friend Brian King, and he talked to this guy J Rock, and then they talked to another guy. I think I put it on the site. And what they said, no, the machine, it didn't reset. It reset because the zeros and ones or something, it gets to the memory. You got to keep it below this number of ships. And I got over that number in the reserve, and it went ding, 0.
Oh, so you had too many lives.
Right. And so I had to kill off. And so and I did. My friend had
Oh, that's interesting.
my friend had a camera, a DV, mini DV tapes. I still have them. I never did anything with them. They're sitting in my cabinet. I don't know how to transfer them. I haven't had the time or energy to do it. Doesn't really
Mhm.
matter. But I would love to get it up on YouTube. I don't know who the hell would watch 23 hours. If anything, there are certain points in the game. There's one definite point I thought, I was like, this is it, I'm done. And I can't even believe I fought back from that moment. It was, and there was a couple things in the game where I remember at the time going, man, nobody's ever seen this part because it's never been seen, where the game did something unusual. Um, with something with the red planet, when you go in and shoot the thing, it didn't do what it should have normally done in that
Hmm.
regard. And I was like, nobody's ever seen this. But big deal. It's a video. Right? It's like
Yeah.
who cares? Nobody's. It's not like well, I'm yeah. I thought it was weird at the time, and I was the one doing it. So, but that one time, that one where I was like, I almost out of fuel, and I think I'd already set the record, so it wouldn't have mattered. But I wanted to get above 8 million points because Ray's was 4.3 or 4.7, I think. And I was like, I want it to sound like double, you know. Like, he won't be offended if it's double because that's a lot.
Yeah.
Um, so I just like honor Ray Mueller because again, he's the guy that really did it. But I did it. I really did it. Um, oh yeah. So how do you do it? Yeah, you got to figure out the game, and basically it takes an hour to play through one full set, and then you're like, oh, can I do this again? Can I do this again? Can I, you know, the rinse and repeat. And then how long can I do that? And so for me, that was 23 hours and 15
A long
minutes.
time.
And now I'm 58, and that was alone. That was on December 06. Yeah, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. That's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Could I do it now? I don't know. I'm 58 now. I have a lot of stamina, but I drive a lot, so I drive 80 hours a week sometimes. So
Maybe a fun challenge when you have time.
it's not really necessary. I don't think it's necessary now. I'll
Yeah.
just sit back and get all the accolades. No, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
true.
I don't think Mike Halley or Rich Adam expected anyone, certainly like me, to come along and go, I'm gonna beat this, crush it.
Yeah, I don't
I
think so
don't. Why
either.
would anybody do that? It's nuts. So anyway, okay, there's a little bit of me blathering on. Enemy speed or firing frequency. Um, well, the two ships, there's two ships that are always trying to, get you when you're out there in space. Both in the main home screen, and
Hmm.
then when you go into each planet, there's, I think, two ships that are sort of always,
Yeah.
chasing after you. There may be a couple one. I think there's a couple planets where there aren't those ships. There's a kind of the upper left one. There's like more of a circular plant. It's not a circle, but it's basically a big circle.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah, there's
too.
no. I don't think there's any ships in that. There's a couple planets where there's no ships, and then once you go into the very last one, I don't know what people call it, the tunnel or the snake. Although I would get that in my technique, I did that one first because it was the most challenging. I wanted to have enough fuel to get through that in the
Right.
dark, especially in the dark, both positive and negative gravity and invisible landscape. So I would shoot that one first and then go back and do the other two easier ones on the third solar system, third, what I call it, universe, and I forget what I call it. Solar. It's, again, been a long time.
Yeah, we also had a lot of trouble with naming the solar systems and
Yeah,
universes and whatnot.
but whatever I called it on the site, I'll go with that. But that
I
was always
think
my
we did too.
technique: was
Yeah.
shoot that one, the most difficult one on the third set of planets. There's three on there's four and four and three, so there's 11 total. So I wanted to shoot that one first because it's the most difficult, and then go destroy the other ones, which I knew I could do, no
Yeah.
problem. And and that's how I did it, and just rinse and repeat. I got to that point. I was like, that's enough. This is nuts. All right. So you saying, I don't know that I really saw any acceleration of the maybe they planned on doing it, but I don't can't point to any part in the game.
Yeah. Well, if someone knows it's you, so then
Lunar
if you didn't
Battle,
notice it, so
definitely. Lunar Battle. I've played that in MAME. You should try that. It's the precursor, and it definitely has stronger gravity, and I think similar maybe to what you're talking about. The ships are more
ah.
relentless.
So you say it could be that in future versions that it got just
Well,
edited out, or
I'm not sure. Lunar Battle was like the prototype to
yeah,
Graviton,
right.
and if they would have gone with that, nobody would have played it. It was too, and there was only, I think they had 7 planets or 8 or something. They didn't have the full 11. But I've played it in MAME. I don't play it in MAME, but there's no point.
Right.
I like Bagman now. That's if I play a game, I'm playing Bagman or Junior Pac-Man. I like a lot. I like it because of the scrolling maze, and it's kind of random. And those are and then Bagman, very challenging. That's Gravatar is tough. Try Bagman. That's a tough game. So I like Bagman. I would like to get a Bagman at some point, or they have Super Bagman too. It's the sequel.
Oh,
But
cool.
anyway, okay. So yeah, I can't say that I found any point where the ships are more relentless or firing at you more.
All right. It's good to know. That's less work for us.
Good.
Also, some people online say that the game kind of flopped because of its difficulty. and that a lot of people just bought the arcade machines to play other games on there.
Yeah, I think that's it. There's my cat, Charlie. Has a
What's
little
your opinion
mustache.
on that?
He has a little mustache. Looks like Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I kind of have heard that. They turned a bunch of them into Black Widows,
Yeah, yeah, that was it. Yeah.
or as I call it, the bastardized version of Gravatar. But it's a beautiful game too. It's just a different. And yeah, I guess the game did kind of didn't do as well in the arcade. It was just too difficult. But a lot of games are difficult. I mean, they're meant to be.
Yeah. So
That's how they get your quarters, right?
yeah,
Suck you in, and then you're like, I gotta beat this thing, and then nobody does. Pac-Man, hey, I got to like 200,000 on Pac-Man in the early 80s. I was pretty good at Pac-Man. I bought the book Mastering Pac-Man and follow the patterns. That's a very pattern game, but
yeah,
who's the world champion in that? I'll remember his name in the second one. I'm not trying, but anyway, yeah, it was a difficult game and didn't do very well in the arcades. That's what I heard.
yeah. But you say like that's fair that every arcade game is difficult. But would you say that Gravatar was too difficult then?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
It's it's a challenging. Like I said, even when I play now and I'm not practiced, I'm like, man, this is a tough game.
Yeah, we can go through the first solar system. It's just then there's just no way.
Well, that's what I would do. I would like get through one. I was like, okay, now what do I got to do next one? And there's 11 plus the little thing at the beginning in the first where those two ships are trying to shoot you on the home screen, and the red planet. And Charlie.
Yeah, I tried to get the animation of the reactor, and it took me like 5 tries to get through the red planet to try and
And
see
then the
what.
timer counts down. I have a page
Yeah.
about that on the side. The timer counts down, so you get less time, and then those
Mhm.
turrets show up once they're invisible, and then once you shoot the reactor, the turrets show up, and if you want to skip ahead, you got to get out of there. So I've I've done it a few times where I did get out after in the more difficult, not when it gets down to like 9 seconds, but however it goes down by like 1 or 2 or 3 seconds each time. So you kind of like do it a couple of times, like, okay, that's enough. I did that, and there's no
Yeah.
point really. You can once a game starts over again, you just go through the same again, rinse and repeat
Because you can
mode.
choose, right? If you want to do the red planet
Yeah,
or the other planets.
yeah. Sometimes you just want to have fun and do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second here. I gotta take a quick look at this. Legacy the 30th. That's tonight at 6. First. Oh, no, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. I do Uber, so I get sometimes. So I just had to look at that. Okay. So what was the question? Is it what? Yeah, it flopped in the arcade or didn't do as well as Atari probably wanted.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they pulled them and found a way to make some money with. I never saw Black Widow. There was a bunch of games I never saw in the arcade. I never saw Gravatar in the arcade. I was there I remember Breakout. Steve Jobs was part of Breakout. I remember seeing Breakout at Kent State University in like 1976, and then Space Invaders. Amazing, like what the hell, Space Invaders?
Yeah.
And then then they slowly I remember seeing Pac-Man and Popeye, and I saw Tempest, Quix or Quick QIX. That
Cool.
I had an obsession with that for a while. Battle Zone. There was a lot of Rampage, the 3-player, the monkey and the lizard, and that was a fun game. And anyway, Asteroids definitely. So there was I played, a ton of games that I just loved. The design. I can't. I cannot connect with any of these games now, like shooter game.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't get
about to
it.
ask, like, have
Like,
you ever
who
played
cares? What
any
is the
more
point?
recent games?
Yeah, no, what is the point? Like all of these games, like Bagman, that's if I had to pick one, like I said, that's my new old game. I just think it's beautiful that you got the two guards chasing the guy and he's stealing the bags of money or whatever in the maze. Um, Rip Off was cool, and there was Rally X. Anyway, they're just it. I don't know what got into the brains of these game designers. They're like, let's do this, and then it's just so beautiful and unique. And some of them are, they're trying to emulate the other one. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of that going on. And maze games, once you learn the maze, yeah, the layout. I mean, Gravatar is a layout too, but you have freedom of movement within that
And then it
realm or
gets
whatever.
invisible all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's who the hell came. I don't know who came up with that,
Yeah, it's
Ray
a
or
bold
Mike,
choice.
but they really threw a monkey wrench at you.
Mm-hmm.
It was nuts. But yeah, so I guess it didn't do well, and they had to find a way to try to make $1 there. And they came up with
Yeah.
Black Widow, and Black Widow's a beautiful game too. It's just not my cup
So
of tea.
you don't really have played any recent or more recent games,
No, yeah,
just
I mean,
mainly arcade games.
I've seen these shooter games and what's the game? Oh, GTO, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
I never actually played it, but I've watched it and I thought that's kind of cool. Um, I don't know how random it is within the city, and you're doing all the
It's
crimes and
it's
things.
it's really different.
It's really different.
You
Yeah,
cannot compare it at all.
yeah. I have not. No, I don't. It's just I don't have a lot of fascination with just shooting zombies or shooting people, and it's just not what I want to. Um, like I said, I like Pac-Man and Junior Pac-Man and Bagman and Gravatar, and I have a Gyrus and a Donkey Kong Jr. That was probably Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong is a very very difficult game, and then Donkey Kong Jr. came out, and then I didn't really like Donkey Kong 3, and now somebody has developed additional levels in Donkey Kong. My friend Brian King has that. He bought the kit or whatever, and you can play. These. I'm like, I don't know how they came up with these new levels, and they're amazing. And I
Hmm.
really am not not very good at it. But like when he has these arcade repair parties, and Brian King, and he'll have people over at his house, and they'll be working on the boards or whatever they're
That's
working
cool.
on. I don't understand any of it. I'm just like, I just want to go play Donkey Kong, have a burger, and go play Donkey Kong. But yeah, I don't know. This was 6, 7 years ago. You can order it on the internet, and I have. He says I can do it on my Donkey Kong Junior. We can upgrade it, and I'm like, cool. Let's do that at some point. But it's not that important right now. But maybe I will spend a couple $100 and get the upgrade. But yeah, so
Yeah,
no,
well, you gotta have the
I
time
haven't
for it.
played any of the Doom or any of it. I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. I like the
Yeah, yeah,
other.
because we had a question if you maybe saw something Gravatar like in other games, in later games, or if you know any games that took
Um,
inspiration of Gravatar.
the layout's the same as Asteroids. That's why you would think I'd be really good at Asteroids. that hey, I watched this. Asteroids is an amazing, beautiful game, but I've watched some really good players, and it's super monotonous. And after you just like, I could not watch this for more than I just watched the video on YouTube. I'm like, zip ahead, get to the good part, and it's just this constant turmoil of shoot the rocks, get the I'm gonna hunt the little spy
Mhm.
ship. And as much as I loved it in 1979 and 80 and all that, I don't see the point of sitting there for 35 hours. Of course, I did it for 23 hours. I don't know. I could. It's kind of monotonous. I love you, asteroids. I love you. Don't damn me for saying it. But yeah, it's an amazing game. But I don't think I could possibly do what
Yeah,
those guys
it's all
do.
preference, of course.
Yeah, yeah. There was a game called Lock and Chase. That was kind of a stupid little game, but I no offense to the guy that designed. It's a fun little game, Lock and Chase. It's a maze game like Pac-Man. That one I kind of liked a lot. Rescue. There's a game called Rescue where Choplifter I played a lot, but Rescue you have to um, basically rescue these people in the ocean. And then there's a space. There's one that was
Always
like
such
four
creative
screen.
names.
Yeah, Rescue is. I was playing a lot of that in Maine. Um, but that was I loved Maine because you did get to find all these games like Rescue I never saw and Lock and Chase I never saw. The guy that Derek Litton, he's the guy that I bought my Gravatar from in Massachusetts. He used to have this website. It's probably on archive.org. You probably find it. He had acquired like the most amazing arcade in his basement. He had I don't know 30 games. And Brian has about 30 games. And hang on, let me decline this call, spam call. So and then this guy has an arcade in Gilbert with about 100, and it's better than anything I ever saw in the 80s. Todd I won't give his last name. I don't want him to get inundated with calls. Todd in Gilbert has, and I put the 3 videos on YouTube. Um, Secret Mystery Arcade or something, but I just walk around in complete and total awe. Oh my God, you have whatever it is, um, Wacko or yeah. Anyway, so he has what was one? I can't remember. Wizard of War. That was fun. But yeah, there's so many, all these really unique, original concepts, and uh, uh, they're beautiful and challenging. So Gravatar is a vector game like Tempest and Major Havoc, uh, Asteroids Deluxe. There's a whole list of them. Um, so it's kind of unique in that realm. Oh, what's the one? There's one Quantum. I played Quantum. There's a gentleman. I'm blanking on his name too. Darren Darren Jacobs. Darren Jacobs, and he has a art. He makes beautiful reproduction art for your games if you need to replace the art. Just amazing quality. So Darren Jacobs. Anyway, he lived in Chandler, and he was friends with this guy named Al Gross who had a warehouse. Al died a bunch of years ago. I traded him my Berserk with the new control panel for the Gravatar that I have. He's just a straight trade. He's like, yeah, I'll trade you, no problem. Anyway, Al knew everything about arcade games, but he died, and his kids didn't want to pursue the arcade. He had this warehouse just full of games that needed repairing, and that's what he did. But he died, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. But
Wow.
nicest guy. But Darren Jacobs, he was in the business at that time. Um, he was making his own arcade cabinets and refurbishing, and these things were works of art. And I got to go to his house one day for a couple hours in Chandler when he lived down there. I think he lives in I don't know, Indiana or something, somewhere in the Midwest. It's on his website. Um, but he had an original Major Havoc with the roller. I'd never seen one. I never heard of it. It's like the holy grail for arcade collectors, I think. And they sell for a lot, 10 grand or something, 8 grand. It's really high price for a video game. And then he had a Quantum. Again, I never heard of Quantum. And I played it. I didn't really like the gameplay. It's a beautiful game, but I just thought this is I don't know, but it's very highly sought after, a beautiful cabinet. But I don't like the gameplay, but it's kind of a holy grail of arcade collectors too. You take this roller ball like Missile Command, and you have to circle the line around the thing, and then it makes it disappear or something. And I was like, I don't,
Yeah, sometimes
I
it's
don't need
aesthetics
to do
over
that.
mechanics, right?
Space Duel, which was on the cover of the Who album, It's Hard. They used a kid at a Space Duel game. That's a vector game. So yeah, Atari did these things with vectors that were, really different. And so Gravatar is one of them. Black Widow's one too. So yeah,
Hmm.
Gravatar is a vector game. So kind of, it's nice to be in that realm. No, I did play Pac-Man at a friend's a long time ago. God, when it first came out, he had it. I didn't have any of those. Uh, I didn't have any of those home arcade games. I just didn't. I was pumping
Yeah,
quarters.
yeah, because it got ported to the Atari 2600,
Right,
and
I've
it
heard of.
looks like
Yeah,
a
I've.
complete different game.
It looks like a different game. Yeah, I don't know. Wasn't really into the. Yeah, kind of the changes. I was like, yeah, what's the point? I'll just go play
The
in
original
the
one.
arcade. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was Play Palace in Kent, Ohio. That's where I spent a lot of money and time in the early '80s. Play Palace, but it's gone. I
Uh,
don't know what it is. I think it's a Five Guys now. The burger chain. It was a couple different restaurants. It was a restaurant before it was a Burger Chef, and then Play Palace, and then it was some other specialty restaurant for a long time, and I think it's a Five Guys now, but I haven't been back there in decades. But anyway, yeah, Play Palace. Anyway, okay. Next question. I don't think I've been into the demonstration mode. I don't think I had, unless they're just talking about the attract mode screen. I know that there's a way that you can go into the settings, and then like the operator would go in and
yeah, it was
change
kind of like
things.
a testing mode where you
Testing mode. Oh, you're
can't get
invincible.
any. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
so you could
invincible.
just
Well,
explore
that
the
sounds
levels.
good.
Yeah, right.
That sounds cool. No, I actually have not done that, but it sounds fun.
Yeah, because it sounds like a thing you can only do on the arcade machine itself. But we were
Maybe.
able to get in some kind of settings menu on the main, but it didn't really work as it should work. Yeah,
Hmm. I,
that's
I can't help you
unfortunate.
there. But Mike Halley would probably know. He knows all about. I asked him one time, like, "Do you know what all this stuff does on the boards?" He's like, "Yeah, I know how that does."
Yeah, because he
It's like,
made it, right?
I don't. Yeah, he made it. Him and Rich.
Yeah, we
I don't
weren't
know
able
how
to get
they.
into contact with him.
He's a nice enough guy, and he'd probably talk with you. I don't know why he wouldn't. I don't think he's like basking in the glory of the Star Wars game. 30 plus years later.
And where would we be able to contact him
He's.
then? On
I mean,
Facebook
I could
or?
send you his email. Usually, when people want to contact him, I mean, I could probably. I have his phone number somewhere. I just to protect his privacy. I usually just email him and
Yeah,
say,
yeah, I get that.
somebody sent me this email. I'm forwarding it to you as a courtesy, because they want to talk with you. And then maybe he does talk with them. He's gets a little bit of attention. It doesn't matter. He probably finds it fascinating that people are
Are still
still
talking about
interested.
Gravatar,
Like,
yeah.
who the hell do I do this 40 years later? 82. Yeah, it's almost 40 years, right? It is 40 years. It was. Oh, Ray did it in December of '82, so it's 40 years. Yeah. Well, no, sorry, 39 years. Yeah, it'll be 40. Yeah, it'll be 40. But I mean, they were working on it. They had to have been working on in. I don't know. It's probably on the timeline. It's probably somewhere in the binder when they started. The
Yeah, I
dates are on
imagine
there.
so.
81. That sounds right. That's crazy. The binder. What do you want to call this page? Dates and numbers. I would have to see it. It's been, long time since I scanned that, and I'm not
Are
sure
you
if
able
the
to share the
resolution
screen
is.
here? Yeah, you can.
I have it somewhere on my. I have a binder. I have a folder on my computer somewhere for Gravatar with the whole binder scans and everything. I couldn't believe that Mike had that thing. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me people keep stuff, but oh yeah, I photographed the binder on the floor of my office. Oh, let's see. Okay. Oh, and I should be able to. Oh, there you go. I can make it bigger. Yeah.
Can you zoom in on your screen a
Yeah, I
little
can
bit?
zoom in. Yeah. So that says March 12th. Okay. Oh, I don't know what this is. Wow.
Can you
I
try
can see
control
this.
scroll?
Lunar Battle. There you go. Okay. Oh, so what's the ones at the top? It says, let me try. It says brass counter, counter to, counter from, difference, brass,
Silver?
silver, and total. Yeah. Wow.
Do you happen to know what that means?
I have no idea what that means. I don't even remember this page, but I scanned it. That's even more. If you thought this was useless, wait till you see this one. So that says Lunar Battle. So that's when they March 21. This must have been March 21, 81. Yeah. So he's working on, and there's April 1st. So he's working on this. This is right before I graduate. I graduated high school 81, June of 81. So he's working on this. But yeah, they were thinking about calling it Lunar Battle, which would have been fine. That's a good name. Yeah.
Let's see.
I can open up this shade here, make it a little brighter. Yeah, the binder is going to be Mike and Rich's, that's all their notes and, everything that they were thinking about at the time. It'll be a little bit brighter. I just opened up the shade on my patio. Oh, yeah. Oh, this might be really good for you guys then, because this is what they were thinking, different elements, or as they say, question. Is the advancement of the planet multipliers understood? If it's not in that, if it's not in there, I don't know if they wrote down the answers. Is the advance? I'm trying to figure out what this would mean. Is the advancement of the planet multipliers understood? I'm not even sure I understand the question.
Are there maybe any pages in the binder that stood out to you, or that maybe you thought were important,
I
or
just
something?
found it interesting how they came up with the name, and they talk about they voted on different names. and kind of the design of each planet, how they came up with the graphic for the way it was going to look, and then where the bunkers were
Right.
going to go. Who came up with this crazy invisible landscape things? Like, hey, let's just get rid of that. He'll still be there. You just, you got to know the layout of each planet, rinse and repeat. How do you, like, I don't know if that had ever been done. The gravity thing was really, pretty unique. And
Yeah,
then, well, let's make it in reverse. I'm like, that's crazy. And then invisible, and then invisible reverse. And so
it really is crazy. Yeah.
it's a unique game in that realm. Let's see. Does your score? Do you like the zooming of the picture? Yeah, I like that. Are the alien ships too hard to hit? No. Are the planets hard to fly around? Sometimes, definitely. Is your ship responsive enough? Yeah. I mean, you're controlling it, with the different keys. What does the bonus planet do? I think that's the red planet at the beginning. Was it hard to achieve that part of the gameplay if you try to? Definitely, the third screen is really, once you get it. The first one pretty easy. Second one, yeah, I can get in and out of there. The third one, wow, really challenging. And then just crazy impossible. Like maybe I've done that once or twice. On the fourth, it just you don't have enough time. It just counts down and you run out of time, so you just kind of go, forget it. What about the graphics in general? I thought they were nice and beautiful. What other features
Simplistic.
would you like to see? I don't know. I mean,
Is there maybe
on the
anything you
high
thought?
score, it doesn't keep the high score, only keeps the top three. And once you get to 999, it 6 9s, it rolls over to 0 again. So that's why on the sure, after I beat it, I took a picture of the screen showing the score. Of course, we had video too, so like I'm pretty backed up there, even though I have never uploaded it, but it's there on the tape. But yeah, I wouldn't keep that. Oh, anything over a million, right? Yeah. So that would have been nice but maybe he thought, oh no, nobody will ever be stupid or crazy. Why would you do that? Unless you're super obsessed with the graviton. Yeah, is there anything else? I mean, unless they came up with some new planets, that's. But they did enough, man. 11 was plenty. No, they
You would
really did a
say that the
beautiful
game was
job.
perfect.
It's pretty perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what else they could have done to make it better. And I played a lot of Gravitar. I don't think I could have. I don't know. I can't think of anything I would have really done, different.
Yeah.
The two ships that kind of chase you on all those different planets. I mean, it's just clearly the same ships. You shoot it, it destroys it. It's going to come back in a millisecond. Maybe if they would have scattered into 5 ships and then come after. Ripoff is very challenging like that. Like
Make it even more harder.
make it even more. Right? Do we really need to make it harder? I don't think so. I think it's hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's any other questions on that page. I have not looked at that probably since I scanned it and uploaded it so long ago. I couldn't even tell you how to I can't even update my site. It's been so long. I used to do that stuff all the time. I was really into it, and then I got into other stuff, and
Yeah, well, you covered a lot, so I
I
don't
was
think.
obsessed.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
wanted it to be
there's
the
much
best.
else to add.
I wanted it to be the best Gravatar.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
I'm glad it helped. I basically, it was a labor of love. And I said, if anybody gets anything out of this, God bless them. Because I
Yeah,
really just did it as an
don't
obsession to the game and a love of the game.
I don't think we could have gotten this far without your site.
Well, good. I'm glad I could help in some small modicum of. It really just
Yeah.
was this labor of love to chain myself to the laptop for however many months. And then it was like, I was updating, like, oh, I put it on, I put the website up. And then I'm like, oh, it's number 22 in the search. It's like, who cares? It's like, who really cares? Now, yeah, you search for Gravatar, it does come up really quickly near the top, of course, because, there's not that many Gravatar resources.
Oh.
And on YouTube, I've watched some people play. They've posted videos of, and I'll comment like, "Yeah, good job. I like it because I'm the world champion." But anyway, I don't know if anybody gets a kick out of that, me making some dumb comment about their Gravatar video, but it's
Yeah, I think you have the right to brag about that.
I have the right to brag. But again,
Yeah.
Ray Mueller, he was there first.
True, true,
I
true.
will always honor Ray. I was glad to, that was a good day for me. I was in Denver I was in Boulder. I was in Boulder doing some photography for Macerich when they opened up the 29th Street Mall. That was in the, whatever it was before I did it. And he lived up there. I contacted him. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to be up there if you want to get together. And we played some Gravatar, and I took a picture of us, and I didn't know that I was going to go on to what I did. It just happens I did. I figured it out, and not long after, it wasn't like Ray. Ray gave me. He told me how to figure it out. It's stamina. If you want to figure it out, that's it. You gotta get through it and then do it again, and that's the whole secret. Stamina. If you want to be a stupid idiot playing this game for 24 hours, go for it. He didn't say that, but I
And
mean,
have the
that's the
courage to do it.
you got to have the stamina, you got to figure it out, and then once you put it all together, and that's why, like what I was saying, when the game reset, I thought I was going to break the record that day, and then it reset, and I was like, I'm not going to try this again until we can figure it out, because I'm not going to waste the energy, the time,
Right.
the desire. It just got crushed 3 times, I think. And then Brian and this guy J Rock and this other guy figured it out. What was I going to say about that? Oh yeah. So I do. This is the moment. I was like, I remember, like, because I was keeping track, and I had my little, not a cheat sheet. I had a little, a page, I had basically a page which each planet just said 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Right, the
The
order that I was going to do it,
strategies.
the
Yeah.
strategy, and then when I would lose a ship, I would mark a little tick mark, and so I could count. I knew how many ships had to stay below because what they told me. And so I remember I was like 4 million. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I did it. It was like this like nobody's ever done that before. Big deal, but it was a big deal for me. And at that moment, I'm like, oh man, Ray, how's Ray gonna feel? I really thought that, like, well, he'll probably, as long as I don't just beat him by a couple points, and that's why I really did what I did. I didn't want him to feel bad. I really was like empathetic about Ray. I love him, man. It's like he's
That's
the
nice to
guy
see.
that did it. He did it
Yeah.
first. And so that's why I always respect him. Nothing but admiration, respect for Ray Mueller. If Ray ever sees this, Ray, I love you. Um, he's the guy that did it. I just happened to figure it out and do it in a lab. And that's who I was. I'm the laboratory guy. I'm the scientist. But no, Ray's amazing. So yeah, that I knew that once they figured that part out, the resetting, that was very frustrating for me.
Yeah.
And then I was playing, and I come in up to that number, and I crossed it. I was like, holy moly. How did you do this? That's really what I thought. How did Ray ever do that? No, I think it was 128.
That's a bit more.
It may be because after I did the record, I posted it to Twin Galaxies, and there's a, I have a whole thing at the time that I wrote up, and I may have talked about that. I think it was 128 or something like that. But they were like, you got to do this. You got to just kill off lives or you're going to reset it again. Yeah, I think it is because
Really?
of the zeros and ones. But see, I think on asteroids, I've seen, because they show the ships on the top. And it just like goes on and on and on at the top of the screen. You have all these little ships. Oh, hang on. I got another request here. Give me 1 millisecond to decide if I'm going to do this. It's tonight at 7:45. Okay. Sure, why not? Okay. Just got a job there later tonight. Okay. All right. I know where we're at in the questioning, but continue on. I think I actually have that on the site, on my site. I think I do, because that's one of the things I was trying to figure out. They're basically in line. I could go find it. Let's see.
Because on MAME it's Control Alt Space and then the arrow keys, right?
Yeah, don't do that. Do the ones that I suggested. Don't do whatever that nonsense. Don't do that. Here we go. Gravatar. And then I go into the. There we go. Man, hello, Gravatar. I'm on my Gravatar website on my iPhone. MAME. Where is it here? See, I have the MAME recording on it. I don't know if anybody ever, and this was just, I did get through it once, I think. Nope, that's recorded on December 22nd, 2003. Holy moly. It's on here somewhere. Cabinet. No.
I wasn't even 1 year old back then.
Wow. Where is it? I talk about this somewhere in the page. Somewhere in here I talk about it where let's see. I don't know where I put it in here. It was a long time ago.
Let me see, maybe I can find it.
I know I talk about it somewhere. Description. No, that's no. I remember on playing it on like Atari had it. You could play it through Facebook or something or online. And I remember making a comment like, you guys should really change the keys. It's just impossible. And this is coming from the world record holder. I can't even do it on your stupid thing here. So I did talk about it. Um, honestly, I don't know. But if you look at the keyboard, I know I have. Oh, it's probably in the photos. Gravatar cabinet photos. So if you look at the keyboard layout, it's probably like the AS, and then what's the? I don't. I have to look at a keyboard in front of me. Here, actually, let me just walk into look at my keyboard. It's pretty easier. It could be like the DEKL and then the space bar, something like that, or ASKL. Maybe I was doing that because those are like the in the middle row, and then
Yeah, so
those
you
are the
can kind of keep your hands in the same
farthest
place.
letters. Yeah, and then the space bar would be the whatever the one is. Let me go look at my actual game. Here's
I
my
guess Coogan.
oops. Here's my Gravatar game.
Cool.
There it is. And then there's the little Gravatar pin. I just keep it on there when I'm not playing it, just for like gotta keep it somewhere. Okay. So that would be my suggestion, would just probably be the furthest to the A and the S, and then the L and K, and then the space bar. So they're in a similar context. Because I tried it on the Atari. I said that, and I'm like, I don't know who the hell came up with that keyboard layout, but it's stupid. Can't do that. Using the rotate, you're going to lose. You're going to be blown up, and I couldn't get through hardly any of it. It's like, are you trying to make this more difficult? You want to have a similar layout, that's the way you do it. But the Asteroids use the same exact layout, and like I said, you would think I'd be great at Asteroids. I suck. That's a hard game. But like too monotonous, and it's like, anyway, beautiful game, but who's going to want to play Asteroids for 30 hours?
Well, if you have the time, why not, right?
Right. What is his name? The guy, I gotta go back. It said there on my thing. Oh, Billy Mitchell. Yeah. So Billy Mitchell, he was the world record first perfect Pac-Man. They made the movie The King of Kong about him and Steve Wiebe. I think I saw it a long time ago when it first came out online. I think I watched it. It was a interesting movie, but like, hey, Billy Mitchell's a real guy. He's the guy that there was all this controversy that things were fake. I'm like, they videotaped that. There were people watching. I don't know. I don't know the whole story about why people think it's not real, but man, mad respect for Billy, that guy. If it's true that he did what he said and people watched him do it, I'm like, he's the man. But
Are you okay there,
he
David?
called me.
Yeah.
People are launching fireworks. Aha.
Hmm.
When the bottle rocket shoots through your window. Anyway, so yeah, Billy called me after I set the record, and it was, he didn't have to do that. It was nice. I think I remember saying, "Hey, don't play any Gravatar, Billy."
Don't steal my record.
Don't steal my thunder, Billy Mitchell. Love you. No, that's the only time I've ever spoken to him. I don't even know if he would remember my name ever, but it's just nice. It was nice that he called and said congrats.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to do. It is kind of crazy that I mean, look, I did mine in 06, so that wasn't definitely not in the timeline of the early 80s. This was just a middle-aged guy with an obsession about Gravatar. But like people like Ray and people like Billy and Life magazine sent a photographer, Enrico Ferrarelli, because I met him in New York. Well, I met him in '86. I was on the Peace March, and Enrico Ferrarelli came out for Life magazine to photograph the Great Peace March. We walked from LA to DC, took 8.5 months, and I was the photographer on that. I was 22. I turned 23 in June of '86. So anyway, he came out for 2 days and did photography, but he's the guy that shot the picture of the famous picture in Life magazine, and Billy Mitchell, his eyes are closed. Now they would just Photoshop him. They would take another frame. Let's make his eyes open, right? He happened to blink at the wrong moment on that frame that they used in Life magazine. But
it happens.
It'd take 5 seconds to switch it out if he had digital at the time, but they didn't have digital. There was film, baby. Film, man. And you got what you got. There was no Photoshop then. So anyway, yeah, they've got like 8 arcade games and cheerleaders, and the whole town is behind them, and right in the downtown Ottumwa, Iowa, I think. So yeah, Billy was there at the beginning of that, and these people are still alive. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're all middle-aged people now, 58. We're all in their 50s and 60s, probably some of them. So the fact that, like, I'm friends, not in real life, but on Twin Galaxies. I don't participate in really any of that anymore. I don't go into the forums. They changed it around anyway. But there was that time back when I was trying to set the record that I was just on there all the time and reading and figuring out who these people are, and there was all this controversy and stuff on some of them, but these people are real and they're alive, and Steve Wiebe, like Steve Wiebe, they make this movie The King of Kong, right? And he became obsessed with it's not, is it the same kind of what I mean, his obsession, his desire to break it down and figure it out. I'm going to just understand how to do it, the process. I mean, I would say I was similar to that with him.
Yeah, you kind of did the same with the
Yeah, I tend to do that when I want to be successful at things. I break it down, I figure out how to make the process happen, and then just crush it. And so Steve was doing that with Donkey Kong, but Donkey Kong's very, very, very difficult game. Like they say, most people crash out of Donkey Kong on the first screen. They can't get through it.
Yeah.
I don't know, a lot of tough games.
Yeah, we have the same with Gravatar.
Gravatar is a tough game. Okay, so I don't know where we're at.
No, we are the ones that break Gravatar down.
I'd definitely keep me in the loop when you make some progress, and if you want me to look at anything, I'd be happy to look at it.
Yeah, cool.
It'd be a lot of fun to see what you're doing, and how far along. What's your guys' process? What do you? How did this come about?
We've kind of been struggling on the the values of acceleration and gravity and projectile speed and that sort of stuff, because we don't really know the precise numbers. But yeah, there's
Aha. Some useless information. Well, we got this. What do you want to do with it? Nothing.
I guess you don't have any other values or research or anything.
No, I just have the binder, and then
Yeah.
my experience of how I got there and the obsession. Yeah, I mean, maybe having those ships like it would be more challenging if those turrets could actually you want to make it harder, make the turrets be able to shoot you at any, like you can't hide at beyond a certain point. The bullets, hi Charlie, they would be able to come out and hit you. That would make it more challenging because you'd have to use more of the fuel to protect
Yeah.
yourself. There was times when I would use the fuel, the shield to protect myself to get into a spot to shoot the bunker. So if they could shoot beyond the place where you could hide, that would make it more challenging. Or if the ships could go down into the planet and chase you around there, oh my God,
That's how
forget
I
it.
imagine.
I think you'd be, I don't know that anybody could get through that game.
Yeah.
It's very well designed. Whoever, Mike and Rich,
Yeah, maybe if we can get into contact with Mike, we can ask him about the values of
send me an
gravity
email
and
and
then.
I'll send me an email. Tell them that I talked with you guys, that you're for real, and you should. I'll say you should talk with these guys. I don't think he'll have any issue with that. I just don't think he wants to waste his time, with just fanboys or something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which I was a fan. Like, can't believe he sent me that binder and the mobile. That was crazy. Oh, tips and tricks. Let's see. Do I have it? Is that on my? What page is that on? The overview. Game overview. Oh, yes. I think at the bottom, yes. The thruster with delicate jabs at the arrow keys to carefully position the ship for a shot.
Maybe those arrow keys just mean the buttons on the machine
Yeah,
itself.
I think it was on the actual machine. But I know I had a comment on it was on the Atari Play It Online. And I said, this layout's just stupid. I can't believe you would. Oh, so you got rotate left, right, thrust, fire, and tractor shield. There it is. Play site, games, arcade, Gravatar rules. So maybe that's where they have it. And if they have a comment section, I probably wrote that. I don't even know if that site exists anymore. I didn't make it a link, but that's, things change. Things change on the internets. Although you
Yeah.
can find things through archive.org. Oh, this is them writing. This is me creating content for the site. That's some of this. If it has that link above, which is not linked, that's what they wrote. Rules, object of the game. That's them writing this. Description from the flyer. That's their reference. That right. I didn't write this tips. This is all them. Right. Because that's why I put those links above, but they are not active or current. Gravatar was the first game to ever real-time dynamic perspective. When you enter a planet, the screen zooms in to give you a closer look. You may laugh now, but for 1982, that was truly amazing. Gravatar was designed by Mike Halley, who went on to be designer for the smash hit Star Wars. Yeah. I can't believe I did this website. This is crazy. Well, that would be my suggestion for the keys. Would be use those The ones in the middle, the far left, the far right, and then the space bar. I think that's the most similar layout.
Yeah, I'd say so too. Yeah, I'd say the middle keys are much easier to work with.
Um,
Like
oh,
arrow
here
keys
you
up,
go.
left,
Here you go.
right.
Just found it when I searched for Gravatar keyboard layout. And then there's my website, Gravatar Links. Go to the links page, and it says right there, and there it is. There it is. There it is. I knew it's on my site. Go to the Gravatar Links page, and
Ah,
there it
grab their
is,
links.
right there. Footnote 1, games.com, play Gravatar online. Using the real control panel, they use up,
Up.
left, right, Z, and space keys. When I play Gravatar and MAME on my computer keyboard, the keys I use are S, D, K, L, and S, D, K, L, and space. There you go. It is on my site. I'm not insane. It's right there. It's on the links page. And then I
I
have
can see it. Yeah.
a little picture of how they say they're using the up, down, up, left, right, Z, and space bar. And my response is, why would you do that? I have emailed the suggestion. So far, no response. Yes, of course. Right. So I'm not crazy. I did put it on there, and I just couldn't remember where it was. And it took me searching Google about 2 seconds to find it. There you go. So that's what I would use, what I wrote there back in last page 1611. I updated this page. So just, 10 years ago, 11, almost 11 years ago.
Casual
Wow.
11 years ago.
Casual, 11 years fly by. When I was a youngster of 46. Young and impetuous 46-year-old. Okay, so that answers that question. That's what I would
Yeah,
use.
great. Yeah, I was about to ask you as well. Is there anything else we must ask?
Um, yeah, some of them don't have. Well, they still have gravity, but it did seem like there was a slight, maybe one had a little bit more draw than the others. I can't really recall which ones. Um, Sometimes, like on those first few where you just drop right down, you don't need to thrust or anything. You just like fly right down there. But the one that circular one it was weird because like you'd be trying to push you out and you had to use just different nuance of
Yeah, because the gravity is in the
thrust.
middle there, right?
Yeah, yeah. So there, the nuance would be slightly different in that regard.
But did you notice any like that the gravity is stronger on certain levels or far into the game?
No, I don't think it changes really. Just when it goes reverse, definitely you're using it's the same skill
Yeah, then
set,
it
but you're just
changes, but it's not stronger or anything.
is it stronger? The one pushing you out, is it stronger? Well, you have to use more fuel, I think, to push yourself down into the planets.
Yeah.
I think you use more fuel to push yourself down because you're constantly fighting. You're getting sucked out of the thing.
Yeah,
instead
I
of drawn
think
down.
this was the same case with the enemy speed, which we talked earlier about, that they were
Doesn't take
maybe
anything to
planning
fall,
on
but to be
changing it.
kept from being pushed out, you got to use more fuel,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So that's kind of that. It's a beautiful
So
game. I'm glad to found it and participated with it and crushed it. And
yeah,
Gravitas.
we're
No,
glad
I
you
love
did
it. It's
that as well.
amazing. I can't even believe I had this experience with this game, and it was great. And I don't know. Will I was looking at my life. I remember. I don't know if you saw this interview with Paul McCartney. I've used this story before with people. Um, so Paul McCartney's on Stephen Colbert, and he's talking about Paul McCartney, and he wrote a book called "Hey Granddude." His grandkids would call him Granddude. Stephen Colbert goes, "Hey, Stephen or Paul, writing. How do you do that?" He goes, "Well, writing is hard, but I'm a genius." And he's being self-deprecating, right? But he's Paul McCartney, Paul fucking McCartney. So and then he talks. Stephen goes, "Well, you're really famous." And he goes, "Oh, Stephen, that Paul McCartney, he's really famous. I'm just this guy sitting at home in my sweatpants watching TV, right?" And I'm not saying I'm like that. The only thing I'm relating to that is that we go through our lives, different parts of our lives. So like at that point, like on the Peace March, I was this 22-year-old kid photographer trying to prove something. And now I look back, I'm like, man, that kid, he did a great job. That kid, that's me, but I'm not that kid. I'm 58-year-old now. So I used to run a lot. I used to run 25, 30 miles a week. And I remember one time I was running 9 miles and I said, oh man, someday I'm going to look back and say, these were the good times because I can't run 9 miles. I got hurt in 14 and then I took a year off and I've been doing Uber a lot nonstop for the last 6 years. But I want to return to being a slower version of me, which is a reasonable goal, you know. So and all the photography that I did and the running and then the game thing. So I'm really saying is like we are those people, but I'm never going to be that guy again, you know. And so Paul McCartney saying, like, well, that guy's really famous, but I'm not that guy, even though I am.
Yeah,
And I can relate to that somewhat in that.
because you
Um,
change so much over
well,
time.
I watched some videos too, like with Robbie Krieger from The Doors, and now he's 70 something. He's not Robbie Krieger from
Hmm.
1965.
Hmm.
He's an older man who still really is good at playing guitar.
Yeah,
And a lot of people have mad respect for what he did, in the 60s. I don't know. We all get older, and that
this is very
you'll get
true.
there. Trust me. You kids with your video games.
And then we look back at the time we made Gravatar.
Yeah, those were the days. I don't know. Okay. Do you have any other questions or comments or concerns?
I don't think so, right?
Okay. Hey, yeah, I recorded the whole game. I think there was like maybe a very short period, like a minute or something, where we were changing the tape or something. Brian couldn't get it changed in time. Other than that, I have the whole thing. It's all on these like mini DV. Um, Hang on, they're in my cabinet. And the reason I haven't done anything with them is because it wasn't necessary. B, I didn't have a way to transfer them. If somebody can figure out how to do that, I mean, it's 2021 here. Here, they should be right there. So there they
Wow,
are right there. There's the stack, and then you go to like,
that's amazing.
and so that's the tape. And then if I put the phone here. So this is tape number 19. It's a TDK,
Wow.
so I have, I don't know, however many are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Must be one for each hour is what I probably did because it was 23 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So, and so I have all these sitting here for 15 years. But like I said, there's not, I don't know that anybody would want to watch, 23 hours of Gravatar. Uh, posting up one complete game, 1 hour of it would probably be enough for people to go, oh, that's how you do that. But then there,
Mhm.
like I said, there are a few moments where I might pull out where that countdown thing happened, and where I remember saying at the time, like, man, this is crazy. This is nobody's ever seen this. And then where I was so low on fuel, I actually said, oh, this is it. I'm done. And then somehow I fought back and
Those little stress
kept
moments.
those. Yeah, that was very stressful. Because other than that, like you're just watching the same thing over and over and over again. Me commenting, and I don't know that that is that interesting. But maybe having one complete, showing every planet and how to do it. That's really why I shared all this info. It wasn't like I just like, what am I going to do with this? It's like there's no website. Okay, I'll make a website, and then if anybody gets anything out of it, that's cool. I didn't expect anything beyond, just trying to help a few people that are, obsessed with the game, and maybe they can get through it. Because I didn't.
Yeah, well, you helped us a lot.
Well, good. I'm glad it did something. I'll have to talk to my friend Dan. He's got the camera. We would have to get it transferred to digital, which shouldn't be that difficult now, in this day. It's just maybe I could take it over Tempe camera or something, but yeah, you got to get it transferred to digital, some MP4, whatever the format is, so it can be uploaded to YouTube. And certainly I'm willing to do that. It's just a matter of I'm about to go through a lawsuit. I'm the plaintiff. I own part of a marijuana dispensary and cultivation, and my yeah, I don't use it. I haven't used it since 1982. Actually, I've been sober since May 23rd, 82 from alcohol, and December of 82 for marijuana. So I've been sober a long time. But anyway, I had this opportunity to invest in a dispensary early on, right at the very beginning in Arizona. And we were successful. We got one of the licenses, but my partner is not honest. That's the shortest way to say it. And
Mm.
so we're about to go through a legal entanglement, and we'll see what happens. But I feel pretty confident that we will prevail and win. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think we could win. If you've only talked for me a little bit, but if people can figure out I'm kind of tenacious and I want to crush things. I want to be I want to be the best Uber driver. I want to be the best
Yeah,
photographer. I want to be the best Gravatar player. And now I want
and
to
you were.
crush this. And I was, yeah. Well, I still am, but not. Yeah, I couldn't do that today. It would take a lot of practice to get back. Okay, so if there's nothing else, I'll let you guys keep on. Keep me informed. I'd love to see whatever progress you're making. If you send me an email to Dan at Coogan Photo, I will forward it to Mike quickly, like within 5 minutes, and say I talked to these guys. They're for real. They're working on a sequel to Gravatar and nice guys. And I don't know why I wouldn't talk with you.
Yeah, yeah, we will do
So,
that.
and Ray, I assume Ray would talk with you too, but he's going to probably give you similar stories from
Yeah,
1982 about, how difficult it was in a Chuck E. Cheese, which again, I think that's crazy that he did it, but I believe he did it. I don't think he's lying about it. So Ray, I love you. I don't think Ray is making this shit up about at a Chuck E. Cheese. It's, if he
yeah.
did
Why
that
would you
and it's
make it
for
up,
real,
right?
why would you make that up? Right.
Yeah,
So, but again, I was in the lab. He was in the wild. And so, anyway, love you, Ray. Amazing. Nothing but mad respect. Okay, guys, I'll let you go. I'm gonna go back to work here quickly
Yeah.
and try to
Thank you
make
so
some money.
much for your time.
Good luck with the project. Keep me informed when you make some monumental progress. I would love to see,
I
or
will.
whatever you want to share. I'm happy to look. All right.
We were gonna need
Thanks,
some
guys.
playtesters, so
Yeah, love to give it a shot. All right. Thanks.
great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.